Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Continuing with the stories of the 252 Vaishnava disciples of Sri Gosaiji. Today is day 238 and Varta 241 Nanda Dasji. After many days, the group reached Mataji. The group stopped there, and Nanda Dasji wandered around the town and arrived on Vishram Ghat. Nanda Dasji saw how many people were bathing there and was struck by the beauty of the place. He fell in love with the place and thought, it would be really good for me to stay here for some days. This was his heart's desire. And then he considered, I should go to Sri Ranchoorlalji, but when I come back this way, I shall definitely stay here on Vishram Ghat. However, he then heard that the group had decided to stay for at least 10 days in Mathura, and so he decided to take himself off alone to go to Dwarka. Thinking like this, Nanda Dasji passed the night, but in the morning he got up and set off without saying a word to anyone. When the head of the group realized that Nanda Dasji was not around, he searched all over Mathura for him. He could not find him and sat dumbfounded. Nanda Dasji had not told anyone that he was going and had set off alone just like that. He lost his way and ended up in Simhanand. He was walking into the centre of the village when he caught sight of the wife of Kshatriya Vaishnav, who lived there, who was a disciple of Sri Gosaiji. She was extremely beautiful. When Nanda Dasji passed by, she had just bathed and she was standing drying her hair. Nanda Dasji became totally infatuated by her. He thought to himself, are there really such beautiful things here on this earth? The lady went inside her house and started her household chores. Nanda Dasji just stood there and thought, I shall only eat or drink after I have seen her face. That day had passed and Nanda Dasji found a corner to sleep in. The next morning, when he got up, he went to sit by the lady's door. He sat there for 6 hours. One of the Kshatriya's servant girls told the lady, a Brahmin has been sitting at your door since morning. He has not even drunk any water. The lady told the maid to ask Nanda Dasji why he was sitting there in this way. The maid asked, why are you staring at our front door like this and sitting here? Nanda Dasji replied, my oath is that I shall not eat or drink until I have seen the lady's face. When I have seen her face, I shall eat and drink and leave. The maid went to the lady and told her, this Brahmin will only leave after seeing your face. The lady said, I am not willing to show him my face. He will have to get up and go of his own accord. He has set himself this stubborn rule. The maid addressed her, please listen to me for 1 minute. Once all of us from this household went to see Sri Gosaiji in Gokul. I and you were both in that group. Sri Gosaiji was leaving Gokul to go to Srinathji Dwar. We were both there as well as your father-in-law. It was in the hot month of Jesht. On the way we came to a Muslim woman who had collapsed with thirst. She was a vendor of dried fruit and nuts. Sri Gosaiji's route went past that place. When Sri Gosaiji got close to that woman, his attendant said to her, please go and sit somewhere else. However, she did not have the strength to get up. Her throat had dried out, and the only life force she had was in her eyes. She could not speak. Sri Gosaiji asked what was going on, and his attendant told him, "Oh Maharaj, there is a Muslim woman lying on the path. I have asked her several times to move, but she will not budge." Sri Gosaiji cast his eyes upon her, and she indicated to him with her hands that she was thirsty. Sri Gosaiji told his attendant to quickly give her something to drink. His attendant piped up, "Oh Maharaj, nobody here has any water. There is no lake nor well nearby either. Where should I get some water?" Sri Gosaiji answered, "There must be some water in my personal water jug. Please give it to her." The attendant replied, "But oh Maharaj, the water jug will get polluted." Sri Gosaiji countered, "I can always get another water jug, but from where will she get a new life? Therefore, please bring water to her as fast as possible. Be merciful to each and every embodied soul." The water was prasadi water from Sri Navneet Priyaji's temple, and he gave that to her to drink. Her whole body was cooled down. She arose and addressed Sri Gosaiji, "Oh Maharaj, I had heard about Sri Krishna, but today I have seen him with my own eyes. You are truly a Gosai, for you have given me renewed life." After that, she stayed in Gokul. She would bring the most beautiful dried fruits and nuts to Sri Gosaiji's door. She would tell the guards at the door, "Please take these dried fruit and nuts." They told her that they would take it if she told them the price. She did so, but asked for very little. She spent her whole life like this. Sri Gosaiji was always very pleased with her. When she left her body, she was reborn into a Brahmin family in Mahavan. In that birth, she became the disciple of Sri Gosaiji, and her life's purpose was fulfilled. It was with this story in mind that the maid asked her mistress to be compassionate to all living beings. She said, "Early each morning that Brahmin sits here hungry and thirsty. This is not good." The lady took her words to heart and came to the door with the maid. Nanda Dasji would see her and then get up to leave. Nanda Dasji did this every day. He saw her and then left. The Kshatriya householder, her husband, heard about him coming to look at his wife's face. The Kshatriya said to Nanda Dasji, "You come here every day and sit at the door like this. Our family members are all mocking us seriously about this matter." Nanda Dasji addressed that Kshatriya. "I ask you for nothing and I am doing no damage. If you talk to me like this again, I shall smack your head." The Kshatriya became afraid that, if he said anything else, the Brahmin would indeed kill him, and so he kept quiet. Nanda Dasji continued to come to their house daily and would leave after seeing the wife's face. Soon everyone in the village would came to know of this, that a Brahmin would daily go to so-and-so Kshatriya's house and only leave after seeing his wife's face. Kshatriya felt very ashamed and said to his son, "Now we shall have to move away from this place." He sold everything that they owned and got a money order for that amount. He hired a wagon and about 10 men to facilitate the trip. The next morning, after Nanda Dasji had been there to look at the wife's face, the Kshatriya, his son, his wife and their maidservant sat in the wagon and went to Gokul. The next day, when Nanda Dasji came to their house, he saw that the house was all locked up. He asked the neighbour, "Why is this house locked today? Where are the Kshatriya family members?" They replied, along with others, "Oh, what a great man you are. Because of you, the Kshatriya has had to leave his own village. He left early yesterday morning." Hearing this, Nanda Dasji returned to his camp. He also sold everything he had and set off for Gokul. Nanda Dasji managed to catch up with the Kshatriya wagon where he had stopped for the evening. He went and sat down close to the Kshatriya's wagon. The Kshatriya spoke to him. "The problem which caused us to have to leave our home and village has now come to stick upon us again." The Kshatriya's men came and argued with Nanda Dasji, asking him why he was coming with them. Nanda Dasji stood up and made some distance between them and himself and said, "I am not asking anything from you. This is not your village." They all passed the night in that place. Early in the morning, the Kshatriya family all sat in the wagon and journeyed on. Nanda Dasji walked at a short distance behind them. They travelled in this same way for a few days until they came to a ghat on the banks of Sri Yamunaji at Gokul. The Kshatriya pondered, "We had to leave our village because of this Brahmin. He has followed us here. Therefore I shall try to make it so that he does not cross the river to get to Gokul with us. Otherwise people in Gokul will also make us a laughing stock. This is not good news, and Sri Gosaiji should not hear it." So the Kshatriya offered the boatman a bribe not to carry Nanda Dasji over to the opposite bank. We will pause the reading today here and continue tomorrow. So aaj ke Anand ki jai ho. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Sab Vaishnavan ko Jai Shri Krishna. Radhe Radhe Ji.